Hey everyone, and welcome to this explainer. Today we're finally popping the hood on artificial intelligence. We're going to take this magical black box and break it down into a logical, mathematical system. If you've ever found yourself wondering how invisible lines of code can suddenly, write a poem, diagnose a complex disease, or just hold a totally fluent conversation with you, well, you are in the exact right place.
So, let's just get right into it and ask the question that is pretty much on everyone's mind these days. We're all using tools like ChatGPT all the time, right? But what exactly is happening inside that black box? When you type in a prompt and watch the text just magically appear on your screen, it feels like pure sorcery. But I promise you, by the end of this explainer, you're going to see that it's actually just pure, elegant mathematics.
And look, this isn't just some niche hobby anymore. We're talking about over 150 million monthly users relying on this tech for everything from drafting a quick email to writing incredibly complex software code. With that many people on board, understanding how it actually thinks is more important than ever. We're way past the phase of just being amazed by AI. It's time for us to truly understand it. Okay, here's our roadmap for today. We're going to start by demystifying the AI hype, then we'll meet the artificial neuron. After that, we'll scale up to neural networks, explain large language models, dive into training and fine-tuning, and finally, wrap up with the future and its challenges. Let's get to it.
All right, Section 1. Demystifying the AI hype, from simple chatbots to advanced reasoning.
Now, what's wild about this is that this journey didn't just happen overnight. It actually took decades of scaling up. Way back in 1966, early chatbots like Eliza could barely even mimic a therapist. They mostly just relied on basic keyword matching. It really wasn't until 2017 that a massive breakthrough happened. That's when transformer architectures were introduced, which is literally the tech powering today's generative AI. So when ChatGPT exploded onto the scene in 2022, that was actually the culmination of over 50 years of grueling, non-stop research in computer science.
Moving on to Section 2. Meet the artificial neuron, the tiny mathematical building block of AI.
You might actually be surprised to learn that at its absolute core, a neural network is not impossibly complicated. It's essentially just a digital imitation of the human brain, but it runs on simple math instead of biology. This basic unit, the artificial neuron, takes in raw data, does some foundational arithmetic, and spits out a completely predictable result. It is the atomic building block for literally everything we're going to talk about today. Okay, so here's the really crucial part. It's just a simple three-step feed-forward process. First up, the neuron assigns a weight to the input. It's basically deciding, mathematically, how important that specific piece of info is. Next, it adds a baseline bias, just to shift the scale a bit. And finally, it pushes that total through an activation function, something like a sigmoid function. Now, all you really need to know about the sigmoid is that it acts like a mathematical trash compactor. It takes any wild number and neatly squishes it into a clean value right between 0 and 1. And boom, that is a single digital neuron thinking.
Section 3. Scaling up to neural networks. Connecting neurons to find patterns in data. Let's make this a bit more real with a concrete example. Imagine we're feeding a network physical measurements to predict someone's gender. The network takes its learned weights and biases and applies them to each row of data. By shifting the baseline, say subtracting the average weight and height just to make the numbers easier to handle, like we see with Alice's inputs here, the network processes these numbers through its hidden layers. It's basically taking a highly educated mathematical guess at whether the data belongs to a male or a female, based entirely on numerical patterns.
But hey, what happens when the network messes up? Because it does guess wrong sometimes. Well, when it makes a bad prediction, it calculates its loss using something called mean squared error. That is really just a fancy way of measuring the mathematical distance between its wrong guess and the actual correct answer. Which brings us to the most absolutely crucial question in all of machine learning. How on earth does the machine actually learn to fix its mistakes and shrink that gap? The secret sauce here is actually calculus. Using techniques with intimidating names like backpropagation and stochastic gradient descent, the network looks at its own error and then literally tweaks its own weights slightly backwards through the layers. Think of it like a blindfolded hiker trying to find the bottom of a valley. They feel the slope of the ground with their foot, that's the partial derivative, and they take a tiny step downward. It does this over and over and over again, nudging those weights until the loss is as close to the bottom, or 0, as possible. It is literally teaching itself. On to Section 4, Large Language Models Explained, the macro shift to predicting language.
This quote really hits the nail on the head regarding the macro shift we've seen lately. Models like Llama 3 or Gemini, they aren't thinking the way you and I do. No, they are just billions of these tiny mathematical equations all working together to guess the most probable next word. Think of it like the autocomplete feature on your smartphone, but on absolute steroids. They don't inherently know facts. They just know the statistical likelihood of what word should come next based on the trillions of words they've already read.
So how does it process all this language? LLMs use that transformer architecture we mentioned earlier. First, it breaks words down into tokens. You can think of these as little machine-readable puzzle pieces. Then, it maps them as numbers in a massive mathematical vector space. That is exactly how the AI figures out that dog and bark are closely related concepts. Finally, it uses something called self-attention. This is where the real magic happens. Self-attention allows the model to remember the context of a paragraph even if it was mentioned 3 pages ago, constantly weighing its relevance against the exact word it's generating right now.
Section 5. Training and fine-tuning. Teaching the machine to follow instructions.
This training process, it is a massive undertaking. It kicks off with data collection, literally scraping trillions of sentences from books in the open web. Next up, the model hunts for raw patterns, figuring out basic grammar and how words associate with each other. But here's the thing, raw data isn't enough to make a helpful assistant. That requires fine-tuning the parameters for really specific tasks, like summarizing complex emails or writing code. Finally, the model goes through rigorous evaluation, getting tested against known industry benchmarks to make sure it's accurate and, of course, safe.
To actually pull this off, AI relies on 2 main learning paradigms. First, we have unsupervised learning. This is where the machine finds its own hidden associations in massive piles of unlabeled data. It's kind of like handing it a huge box of shapes and just letting it figure out how to group them all by itself. That's how it builds its broad knowledge. Then we have supervised learning. This is where we teach it specific tasks using clearly labeled data. It's like holding up a piece of fruit and explicitly telling the AI, hey, this is an apple.
Now, to make these models actually fun to talk to and safe, developers use RLH, which stands for Reinforcement Learning from Human Feedback. This is literally just humans grading the AI's homework. If the AI gives a helpful, polite answer, humans give it a thumbs up, and the AI tweaks its internal weights to favor that style. If it gives a broken or unhelpful answer, it gets a thumbs down. Over time, the model aligns its behavior purely based on this reward system.
Finally, Section 6. The future and challenges. Navigating the complexities of AI growth.
Look, despite all this incredible power, we've got some massive hurdles to navigate. Because these models learn from internet data, they inevitably inherit our historical biases as statistical patterns. And since they're fundamentally just predicting the next word, they suffer from hallucinations. They'll confidently spit out a string of words that sounds totally plausible, but is actually completely factually wrong. Add in the staggering environmental and energy costs required to run the servers, and we have some very serious technical challenges ahead of us. So, to combat those factual hallucinations, developers are using clever tricks like RAG, or Retrieval Augmented Generation. You can think of it like giving the AI an open book test. Instead of just blindly guessing, RAG allows the model to pause, reach out to external verified databases, and pull real-time facts. It essentially grounds its statistical guessing in hard reality before it ever formulates an answer for you. I want to leave you with this one provocative thought as we wrap things up today. As we scale these basic digital neurons into the trillions, are we really just building a super-powered autocomplete? Or are we actually witnessing the dawn of true machine reasoning? I mean, at what point does perfectly predicting the next word become totally indistinguishable from actual thought? Thank you so much for exploring the black box with me today. Keep asking questions and keep learning.